Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we ended up finishing the Prophecy campaign, and we got some new gear. I swapped out... wrong spot. I swapped out my armor for the Vestment of Dread. We're going to try to get that powered up, same as the Purity Seal of Trauma. I'd like to get these eventually unlocked just to see if they're even worth using, or if I'm just going to go back to my existing gear. And we have Intel to run, because I don't really feel like running one of the other DLC mission chains right now. And Intel, we can slap some tarots on there and get some wild stuff going. Okay, villains, double amount of enemies supporting elite groups, cooldown reductions, that's gonna hurt. Actually, no, it won't, because it's percentages, so it's irrelevant. And more normal enemies. Yeah, I don't care. Let's go more psalm codes. Extra champions for more spawns. And can we get another... Yep. We can get even more champion bonuses. Yeah, that's completely fine. I don't care. I'll stomp them all the same.
We identified the demonic contagion in the zone. Samples indicate warp-infested unknown pathogens. Now it is your field of expertise, Inquisitor.
Oh, tiny problem. I can't summon my, Healy bot. Or my Healy turret. That's... okay, that is a problem. I'll be honest. But if once I get enough XP or enough skill points, I can negate my problem. I might have to go buy the extra skill points that are available. I actually could probably show you guys that, because I don't know if I've shown it before, but that'd be a good option. Because that'll give me like a skill point or two. I think it gives me a trait point, but that's more stuff I can utilize. Who knew I'd actually have to consider investing in stuff that gives me data flux. No, I just screwed this up. I realized I was supposed to do a mission without taking any melee damage. I just got so wrapped up that I just completely zoned out. God. That guy was throwing grenades and just stood no chance to the Castellan, just walking up, throwing hands. Just stomps on up, beep boop, wreck yourself, fool, and just starts slapping him around. Yeah, I need to get the... there's a skill that reduces percentage cost on Castellans. I'm gonna really need to invest in that, because even if it's 5 or 10%, because I've seen people say you can apparently do some trick to get 3 Castellans, and I would actually run triple Castellan and then just not run anything else, just run my gun with all the skill and have that be that. Okay, so we gotta go both ways, that's fine. We'll actually go this way because there's the little end corridor nubbins that we can look at. So, I learned something new recently. Screw up my sentence, starting to sound like Yoda. learned something recently new I did. But there was a D&D skirmish game, like a miniatures game. D&D Onslaught? I saw it in an article. They're like, oh yeah, this was a thing. We're taking this. Ooh, loot room. But yeah, so this game existed. I'm like, oh, that would have been nice to know. But apparently it existed, or it currently still exists. But they're kind of just going like, hey, so nobody plays this. Okay, we're leaving. Yeah, we're gonna kind of heal up a second, and then we can try to jump back in and... Oh, hello, everybody's waiting right at the exit. But so that was a thing. I sat there thinking, oh, that would have been cool to know. Oh, hello, that... Everybody's showing up, it's a party! But didn't know that existed until finding out it's on the ropes or dead at this point. And the thing that I find funny about it all is a skirmish miniatures game already existed for D&D. That was the old D&D miniatures game. I have miniatures for it. It's kind of annoying that Wizards is turning around being like, oh guys, here's a brand new idea. And it's an old idea. Now they're just being stupid about it. Because the old version had miniatures that were pre-painted.
Chance of success increasing at a steady rate.
And the new version, of my understanding, isn't pre-painted?
Counteragent administered with limited success. Keep clear of the fumes.
And it just annoys me, especially because knowing D&D miniatures used to be painted, and now they keep pushing this, oh, you want to pay like $60 for 10 miniatures that are unpainted? Like, no, I want my miniatures painted. This isn't Warhammer. Even with Warhammer, I don't like painting miniatures. But it's so stupid to see Wizards doing this when they had it before and they abandoned it because it also worked. It was the same rule set for like Star Wars. Back in their D20 Star Wars stuff, they had a miniatures game. And I can guarantee part of the reason this stuff failed right now, or is failing right now, is because this stuff is incomplete models or incomplete miniatures. Because I would invest in a D&D skirmish game. That would be fun. Oh, here's skeletons, here's Vecna, here's I think it was Red Duke, which is, last time I saw that character was Monster Manual 4? I believe it was Monster Manual 4 as a vampire. Cool character, they just didn't do anything with him. I think because they had Strahd von Zarovich, and they're just like, yeah, just curse a Strahd. We don't need anything else. Which I kind of get. Actually, no, I don't get it, because they have Faerun, they have Eberron. They could have done a little more for Greyhawk, because God knows they didn't do anything to support Greyhawk at all. But they could have done some stuff and had more for players. They just didn't. And it'd be cool. I'm down for buying blind boxes of minis if they're painted. Because otherwise, it's effectively buying a mystery chore. You open up, hey, you get an unpainted knight. Or you open up, you get an unpainted dragon. Have fun! It's like, no, this sucks. I didn't sign up for additional chores by buying this. If I'm buying an unpainted mini, I want to know what it is. Otherwise, just paint them. I don't care. Whatever BS they're pulling with, like, oh, it increases the cost. They can swallow the cost. If their operating costs are so high that they can't afford it, I think they need to reassess and reevaluate what they're doing. Probably doesn't help when they bought 2K.
Infection source cauterized.
Yeah, I just... disappointed. Because they could do... in a perfect world where I ran Wizards, I would do box sets. Say, okay, here's all the minis that are in the normal blind boxes, and then I would do box sets. Oh, you want to have a drow setup? Okay, here's a drow box where you get certain drow characters and some goblin slaves or whatever. That is your setup. Boom, done. You can have named characters, you can do whatever you feel, and it makes sense. Oh, here's a, I don't know, an elemental box or something, and you could realistically reprint, I'm air quoting reprint, existing miniatures. Because maybe I want certain fire elementals. Maybe I want a huge fire elemental, and that was in some box. Now, instead of... butt cheeks. But instead of just going, oh, here's the one time you can get it, and you might get it, this can also provide options of, hey, here's a guaranteed instance of it. Then they can sell some of those terrain sets I see that are egregiously expensive for a tavern or a ship, and people might actually buy them. Or, this is going to be nuts here. Take what you had for Heroscape and use that. You have the hex tile system. You do range in tiles instead of squares. You have all the old terrain pieces you can bring back. They had D&D tie-ins to this stuff anyways. And the whole thing is, you could release alt rules that are, hey, if you want to just use regular square tiles instead of the hexes, here's the alt rules, here's how you change ranges or whatever. But you just do that. Or just bring back Heroscape and not do some feeble, oh, we didn't announce it to anyone, but we expected like $2 million and didn't get it because no one knew it existed. So we canceled the project again. And didn't have painted miniatures.
The chance of a major outbreak, and we collected valuable data. The Omnisire be praised.
I swear, Games Workshop has done more harm to the industry than people will believe. Because I think everyone is now starting to realize, oh hey, some nerds will buy unpainted miniatures. And now everyone's trying to cut costs. Instead of just going, no, that's stupid, it only works for 40K because you can make any chapter. What other color are you painting skeletons? Bone white exists. Ecru. We're using the word this game taught me. You use ecru. You don't do anything else. Bones don't come in other colors. No one has violet bones. So miniatures like that, or a blue dragon. What are you painting a blue dragon? If you say anything other than blue, you need to be stopped. So it just... God, Hasbro... Change their name to Hasbro. Because everything they do is just a bruh moment. Anything else want to pop up? Maybe an ad for hot singles in my area? Something else? I lose a lot of loot quantity. Yeah, that's really about it. Max HP, but that's all. I was starting to try to convince myself, then I looked at it and I was like, oh, this just sucks. The nice part is I'm not struggling. This could have been a run where I'm just sitting here going, oh god, help me. But instead, the game has actually been really chill. And I do appreciate that, because I'm tired of just getting pummeled in some of these runs. Even when I do stuff to crank difficulty. Except for that loot room. That loot room wasn't bad, but it definitely could have gone way worse. Okay, I need to look. Okay, that's it. The minus 5% data flux cost of summoning skills. I think that helps the Cataphron, or the Castellan. Minus 20% of data flux reserve to all summoning skill. Does that mean it's cheaper? Because that'd be cool. Otherwise, that kind of sucks. Oh, movement. I don't need to... This tree is such a waste. Okay, that one's nice, but it should not be a skill. Movement speed when not in combat should just be a thing. Otherwise... Yeah, these aren't good. Yeah, let's just keep going with movement speed. Or not movement, critical hits. Yeah, stacking critical, why not? Yeah, that's fine. None of those are really concerning to me. Champion, what do we got? Heat resist, that's gonna suck. Additional champion, that's fine. Chance to create a demon on psychic power use. Oh no, what will I do?
The enemies of the Imperium are infinite, and such a vast threat can only be fought with ingenuity. Kill the masters, and you will render a sea of vermin helpless.
I will admit, the psychic skills summoning a demon is a lot worse if you actually are playing co-op and someone actually plays a psyker. So
Reconnaissance force relieved. Send back
I just kind of thought about it and realized that co-op, that's a lot more dangerous than solo. Man, it just... I don't get what's up with Hasbro, because they could easily, if they wanted to merge the skirmish game with HeroScape, which is the smart move, they could do so much, because that would directly challenge 40K. You have a miniatures game where you'd be pre-painted, so you already have an advantage. You'd have a variety of factions, because if you're intelligent, you would just revive the old ones and then introduce new ones. Reprint all the old stuff. I don't care about collectors. The stuff's been out of print for so long, and it'd be asinine to just go, nope, all these sets we're just not touching ever again. It's too much money left on the table, too many designs. Just revive them, revise them. You'd have the advantage of the rule set's far more simplified. One thing I hate when it comes to a lot of miniatures games now is the whole, oh, well, you need to pull out a ruler and measure this. Like, no, dude, I don't want to sit here, tape measure, constantly trying to, like, rough out, okay, is this within a acceptable, 9 inches, or someone gonna lose their mind and slap me in the mouth because I'm 1/8 of an inch too far. Because people will do it. People are crazy. But this would give Hasbro a direct competition with Games Workshop, and would be able to pull in a lot of people. And if they do D&D themed sets for some of them, they could easily pull people in through that. I would launch with a reboot of like the original Master Set, and then I would come out with another Master Set size box that is D&D. And like I said, I would just mass produce, or at least make a bunch of D&D sets. Especially because if you're doing that way, the HeroScape way, you don't have to blind bag or blind box it. You just have sets. And you can have, oh, here's the Elemental set. Here's the Vecna set. Here's the Caius or Cuse Worm That Walks. Here's Forgotten Realms, here's Dritsto Urden, here's every one of these characters. Oh, here's the Demogorgon. You idiots watched Stranger Things, now buy this. You can... The ideas write themselves. The checks write themselves. Take it like a man, guardsman. Me when I get kicked in the nuts. And I have to say, it may sound like I'm angry. It's less anger. It isn't anger. It's just, it's annoyance because of all the stupid stuff Hasbro's doing. I heard not too long ago they did a meeting, and one of the people flat out said something along the lines of they're glad the straight white guys are getting out of the hobby because of all the people leaving to go to other games because of all the shit they're pulling. And I'm like, no, just don't say this stuff. I've always followed the rule of if you can replace like white guy with any other group and it comes off as racist, don't say it. Don't alienate your customers, because if you do, you're a moron. But people really like alienating their customers and then going, God, why is my business failing? Why are we reporting, reduced income quarter after quarter? It's the Simpsons bit. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children that are wrong. In this case, am I out of touch? No, it's the customers who are wrong in not wanting what we're giving them. I will say one thing I am mad about, still, I'm vehemently but frustrated over it, is Wizards doing that stupid Discount Dan's Harry Potter campaign setting. I want to know what Tumblr refugee came up with that. Oh, let's do a Harry Potter wizarding school for D&D. My guy, I remember back in the day in Dragon Magazine where you were going to the Isle of Dread and fighting Q Circaius in Age of Worms, one of my favorite campaigns, by the way. And now what you offer is the stress of passing exams? That's what you were offering? Nah, don't save the world. Make sure you pass your alteration spell class. Just why? Why? And you know a sad part with a lot of this? These decisions will likely tank Wizards or at least do irreparable damage. And no one will ever really either own up to it or the blame will never properly be placed. Because you need people who actually care. It's like The Witcher. The writer, showrunner, whoever it is, they flat out said they hated Henry Cavill because they thought he was annoying, because he knew so much about The Witcher and would step in to make sure things were accurate to the books. First thing I thought was, why are you mad someone knows their shit? Seriously. Of all the things you can complain about, oh no, the guy working on this knows the product. Are you insane? That's good. That means you get accurate work, and people will want to watch your thing. There's a reason the Netflix Resident Evil show tanked after one season. There's a reason the Velma show is vehemently hated. There's a reason the Halo show is vehemently hated. It's because they're not accurate. But people are so far gone that it's like, no, that's bad. Being aware of what you're making and trying to do the best possible job is bad. But you don't see that in other career paths. I've never seen a gunsmithing company or like a gunsmith who doesn't know how to make guns. You don't see an architect who's just like, yeah, I don't know how to design houses, I don't really care. I get angry if people tell me how to make a house. I don't know what a soffit or a fascia is. I don't know, proper heights of door frames or how to properly space out housing. I don't know the rules on basements and having exits in case of a fire. I don't need that. Why would I need to know things about making houses? I just do. It's like, no. Every other career path requires you to care. You have to know things. Oh, man. I hope Hasbro eventually kind of pulls their head out. Or I hope someone else shows up and just eats their lunch. Turns out that's the fastest way for companies to learn anything, is the second they start having a competitor start succeeding, then they're like, oh, wait. So I guess that there's always hope for that. And in the end, if that happens, we all win. We get better stuff. Hey, we get Void Crusades! Neat. I don't like that perk name. Necrotic Data Squirt. They could have picked any other word. I don't want my data to be squirting. I don't need a tech priest being like, beep boop, do it, squirt. Nah, I don't want this. Not a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I didn't expect that to pay out well either. Hang on, what's this? Nope. What's this do? Physical. Okay. And then this is just a chain. Yep. AoE, so yeah, you'd have to build around AoEs for that. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.